Have you ever wondered what the breaking point of trust looks like? What happens when the one person who gave you their entire world discovers a secret you never wanted them to find? Today, we're diving into a story about love, betrayal, and the moment a single choice changed everything forever. This is the story of Sarah and James, and how one decision shattered a bond that seemed unbreakable. Sarah and James were the couple everyone admired. They'd been together since college, building a life brick by brick, laugh by laugh. James wasn't just Sarah's husband. He was her rock, her biggest fan, and her best friend. He celebrated her promotions at the marketing firm more than she did, and he was the one who held her when her mother passed away. He remembered the little things, her favorite coffee order, the way she liked her toast, the silly song that always made her smile. He didn't just love her, he cherished her. But life has a funny way of testing even the strongest connections. As Sarah climbed the corporate ladder, her world expanded. She started attending more work events, networking dinners, and business trips. It was exciting, a whirlwind of new faces and new opportunities. It was during this time that she met Alex. Alex was a charismatic colleague from another department. Their conversation started innocently, discussions about project strategies and market trends. But soon, professional talk bled into personal stories. The late-night texts began as work-related questions but slowly morphed into something more. It was a subtle slide, a slow drip of attention that Sarah found herself craving. She told herself it was harmless. It was just a friendship, a bit of fun. She was still a devoted wife. She still loved James. But she was also living a double life. She'd silence her phone when James walked into the room, creating small, invisible walls between them. James, ever trusting, didn't suspect a thing at first. He noticed she was more distant, more engrossed in her phone, but he attributed it to work stress. "You're working so hard, honey," he'd say, rubbing her shoulders. "Don't forget to take a break." His kindness felt like a sting, a reminder of the trust she was slowly eroding. The guilt was a constant hum beneath the surface, but the thrill of the secret, the validation from Alex, was a powerful distraction. The turning point came on a rainy Tuesday evening. James had planned a surprise for Sarah. It was the anniversary of their first date. He'd cooked her favorite meal, a creamy Tuscan chicken pasta, and the apartment was filled with the scent of garlic, herbs, and the fresh flowers he'd bought. He even found the obscure indie film they had watched on that first date, years ago. He was buzzing with excitement, eager to see the look on her face. He sent her a text. "Hurry home, I've got a surprise for you." 3. He waited. An hour passed, then another. He called her phone, but it went straight to voicemail. He started to worry. Maybe she was stuck in a late meeting. He decided to check her location, a feature they shared for safety. His heart dropped. The map showed her not at her office, but at a boutique hotel on the other side of town. Confusion warred with a cold, creeping dread. It had to be a mistake, a glitch. He told himself there was a perfectly logical explanation. Maybe she was at a work function there. He tried calling again. Voicemail. The pasta grew cold on the stove. The flowers seemed to droop. The silence in the apartment was deafening, broken only by the sound of his own ragged breathing. That's when his phone buzzed. A notification. It was from their shared cloud account, the one that automatically backed up photos from their phones. A new picture had just been uploaded from Sarah's device. With a trembling hand, James opened it. The image seared itself into his memory. It was a selfie. Sarah and Alex, clinking champagne glasses, smiling intimately. Behind them, the distinctive wallpaper of the hotel bar he had just seen on the map. In that single, devastating moment, the world James had so carefully built with Sarah shattered into a million pieces. It wasn't just the photo. It was the lie. It was the secret trips, the hidden texts, the stolen moments. Every time she had said, "I'm just working late," every distracted smile, Every quick hiding of her phone screen, it all clicked into place, forming a horrific mosaic of betrayal. When Sarah finally walked through the door just after midnight, her face was a mask of feigned exhaustion. "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. The client dinner ran so late," she began, but stopped short. James was sitting on the couch, his face pale, his eyes hollow. Her phone was on the coffee table, the incriminating photo displayed on the screen. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The secret was out. "James, I can explain," she stammered, the words catching in her throat. But what was there to explain? The photo told a story no words could undo. James didn't yell. He didn't scream. His voice was quiet, almost a whisper, but it cut deeper than any shout could. "I trusted you, Sarah," he said, his voice cracking. "That was my mistake. I gave you everything, my whole heart, and you threw it away for... what? This?" He gestured weakly at the phone. He looked not just hurt, but completely broken. The man who was her rock had crumbled. The days that followed were a blur of strained silence and painful conversations. Sarah pleaded. She cried. She apologized. She said it was a mistake, that it meant nothing, that she loved him. But her words were like rain on a stone. The damage was done. It wasn't about the act itself, but the complete and utter demolition of trust. James looked at her, but he didn't see the woman he had married. He saw a stranger who had lied to his face while he was at home planning a future with her. He couldn't sleep in their bed anymore. He couldn't look at her without seeing the picture, without feeling the sting of her deceit. The home they had built together now felt like a prison of painful memories. The only man who had ever looked at her like she was magic now looked at her with a mixture of pain and emptiness. He packed his bags a week later. Sarah begged him to stay, promising to do anything to fix it. "We can go to therapy. I'll cut off all contact with him. Please, James, don't leave." But James just shook his head, his eyes filled with a sorrow so deep it seemed to swallow him whole. "I can't, Sarah," he said softly. "Every time I look at you, I'll wonder. I'll wonder if you're telling the truth. I'll wonder who you're texting. I can't live like that. You didn't just break my heart. You broke my ability to trust you. And without trust, what do we have?" The day she lost his trust was the day she lost everything. She lost the man who would have moved mountains for her, the man who saw her flaws and loved her anyway, the man who was her home. She was left with the hollow echo of his words and a life filled with regret. She realized too late that the thrill of a secret was a cheap imitation of the profound, steady warmth of true, unconditional love. She had traded a treasure for a trinket, and by the time she understood its value, it was gone forever. This story is a powerful reminder that trust is the foundation of any relationship. It's built slowly, over time, through honesty and shared vulnerability, but it can be shattered in a single moment. Once broken, it's one of the hardest things to rebuild, and sometimes it's lost for good. Thank you so much for watching and sharing in this story with me. If it resonated with you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.